we about to have the most wide open college football season we've ever had. I'm not saying it's 2007, but I am saying if you were to look at the college football seasons as a family, maybe this is like a distant cousin to the 2007 season. Because I'll tell you what, man, there is new quarterbacks everywhere in college football. Some of that is the perfect storm that the transfer portal created. Some of that is the NFL draft and just a certain number of guys deciding to leave when they left at, what we would consider like the big dogs in the sport. But you go check out the odds in Vegas. Of the top 20 teams that are favored to win the national title in 2025, 13 of those teams will be starting someone new at quarterback. Now, we understand new does not equal not good. New just means there's going to be, to some degree, a learning curve you have to believe for some of those guys. Now, what does that learning curve look like for an Arch Manning? What does that learning curve look like for, a Julian Saint at Ohio State? I don't know. It might be nothing for those guys. But I will say, when you look across the landscape, this makes this season, I think, extremely fascinating. At a conference level, the favorites to win the Big Ten and the SEC, Ohio State and Texas respectively, both new quarterbacks. In the ACC, two of the top three favorites to win that conference, in Miami and Louisville, behind Clemson, new quarterbacks. Now, the Big 12 is actually pretty deep at quarterback. I was talking with Cato before we got on the air here. It might be the most known commodity as a conference when you look at the quarterback position. And that makes this thing interesting, I think, as you zoom out on the landscape. Because I just told you, some of those top dogs, the Ohio States, the Texases of the world, the Georgias of the world, the Michigans of the world, like a lot of those schools with new quarterbacks, that creates some uncertainty. But at some other schools that you would maybe consider dark horses, like the dark horse community right now is in a very intriguing spot. The Penn States of the world with Drew Aller and company, all they bring back. Could they make a move this year? Illinois, Luke Altmaier, he's back. Could they make a move? And then teams in the SEC that you keep an eye on, but you don't always consider to be like conference title contenders. South Carolina, Lenore Sellers, what are they going to be? And Florida and DJ Lagway, what are they going to be? I talk about LSU and all that they bring back with Garrett Nussmeier and what we've seen LSU to be historically. Like, there's no telling what those schools are able to accomplish. And it's not even a thing of where they could win the conference. I think the question becomes intriguing when you say, could they maybe steal a couple of games they wouldn't have stole should those other top dogs have had a returning quarterback at a more established point in their roster. So all I'm trying to say here is the national picture and the postseason picture, I think, has never hinged more on quarterback play because it used to be in the BCS system, even in the 4-team system. If you did well during the regular season in the BCS era, you won one game, you're a national champion. In the 4-team playoff, you win 2 games, you're a national champion. In the new era of college football, in the 12-team playoff and beyond, you have to win at least 3 games, maybe 4 to win a national championship. The reality there is, in those situations, you're going to play teams that are of an equal roster talent level. So what makes the difference when the rosters are more or less even? Quarterbacks. Okay, so with those teams I just spoke to, there's no guarantee that Texas has what they need at quarterback. There's no guarantee Ohio State has what they need at quarterback. Is this the year where Penn State makes a move? I just told you, LSU, could they make a move? So I think now that, speaking to the postseason, going back to this idea of the college football season being more wide open than it's ever been, it has never been harder in the postseason to win a national championship once you get there. One, you got to be healthy, and we've seen now in multiple instances that's a difficult thing to accomplish in the 4-team playoff and the 12-team playoff. You have to match up well with your opponent. Who you draw has never been more relevant in the postseason. Also, psychologically got to be in a good spot. Quarterbacks can make up for all of that. So we just said all of the unknowns here at different spots, that makes this whole thing, I think, very, very just intriguing. And I don't know if we're here to say parity is good for the sport or bad for the sport, but I do think you're going to get a lot of just wild storylines across the season and across the postseason. So to close now, the throne is wide open in college football. It is. At a conference level, at a national title level, it's wide open. So what I think we're going to get here is, one, electric conference races because of those unknowns at quarterback. And I also think when we get to the college football playoff, you're going to have a lot of, I have to believe now, first-year starting quarterbacks that are going to be asked in big moments to make the plays for their teams to win. What I just told you, how important it is in the college football playoff for your quarterback to be the guy. We're going to see how those guys handle it. So all that's to say, buckle up. It's going to be a chaotic season. It's going to be, I think, the most wide-open college football season we've had since 2007. And there's a lot of unknowns, more unknowns than I think we can even speak to in recent memory, for my money at least, at some of these top institutions across the country.